Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do my review of Grown and Gospel, Season 1, Episode 3, Marriage Revival. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie. Everybody needs
with a whoop whoop and a boop boop.
aunties and everybody needs.
You can make this up.
Now you know that these are some crazy motherfuckers.
Everybody needs a sweet old auntie.
So why even bother?
Aunties and guys, sweet old auntie. Aunties and ways. Are you okay? Are you okay?
Well, welcome back, everybody, and this is Auntie. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. To all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of A Grown and Gospel, Season 1, Episode 3, Marriage Revival, I will rate this episode an A. If you are looking at this show, let me know down in the comment section what you would rate this episode. I thought that this was real. I thought that the pace was perfect. I thought that the honesty, I think that this episode is one of those episodes where you can learn something. And if you were going through something, you could take something away. Carlos, calling Carlos King. Let me tell you something. I don't know a lot about you because I'm not really into Bravo and stuff like that. Rumors are out there on the street. Of course, we know that they are. But let me tell you something. People say that God can't bless mess. Oh, yes, he can. A lot of people say that Carlos King is messy and that, even this show is messy. But I have discovered through this show that God can bless mess. And what seems very messy can be a testimony, because these girls are laying it out here in this street. And I am sure that there are some people who are going to be able to relate to these young women. And I know a lot of people probably going to disagree with me, and it's okay because we all are entitled to our opinions. But let me tell you something. Carlos King, through his lens, has helped me to realize that God does bless mess. Now, next week, I may say something different. But this episode, while it was messy, was real. And it was raw. And let's get into it. So we open up this episode with Bree having a conversation with Jay Brooks. And she was talking to, oh, wait a minute, let me put my glasses on so that I could bring their faces up. Where they at? So she was having a conversation with Jay Brooks, who is currently in Mexico, okay? I guess maybe sunning and funning or whatever he's doing. And so, as we all remember, last episode, we left off with Bree leaving her own birthday party after feeling very disrespected by Elijah. And when she, was outside in the car and she was crying, and because everybody was upset, including Elijah, that she was affected the way that she was affected, or affected. Um, she was saying that, with him, throwing her boots away, talking to her the way that he was talking to her, that she felt like it was her father all over again. And that, here she is being judged by a man, and feeling unworthy. And we all know that a lot of people have childhood hurts, me included. We all have things that hurt us during our childhood or while we were being reared. Things that some of us walk around still with the effects of that, and some of us don't. Whether you grew up in a single family home and you had a relationship with either your mom or your dad, because it's not just moms who are single parents. And so I don't want to even allude to the fact that there is. Or you grew up in a two-parent household like myself, right? I had my mama and my daddy in the home. Or you grew up in a home that was shook by divorce or separation or whatever it may have been. And from Bree is one who grew up, a great deal of her childhood, with her mom and dad in the house. And when they separated, it got really bad. And so with Elijah saying the stuff that he, said to her. Okay, let me move you out, boo. Let me move you out because you having a problem and everything, right? It's okay. Bye bye, boo. So, anyway, um, she felt like, this was yet another man who was criticizing her. And so, not only did Elijah throw her boots in the trash, he was disrespectful, shady, and he also dug his finger down on her cake. And I think that he did a lot of it, for attention. But Jay Brooks went on to try to define Elijah's intents. And he can't do that. But he said that, Elijah is like one of those guys that kind of hazes you into a group. And he made, mention about Bree wanting to hang with him and be in his circle and all that kind of stuff. And that wasn't, that really wasn't. Yeah, I'm blocking. Y'all laughing because I blocked the girl. Don't come in here with that mess. I said anyway. Don't be laughing at me, y'all. Because I straight up just straight blocked her. I didn't care whether or not it was a moderator here or not. And y'all know I usually don't pay attention to the comment section, but sometimes, honey, God will tell me to look. You know what I'm saying? And that was a look. That was some mess that didn't get blessed. So she was absolutely correct. Okay? She was absolutely correct. In her case, her mess didn't get blessed. Her mess got blocked. Okay? Blockity, block, block, block. Because what we not going to do is when we, okay. So anyway, he was trying to tell her, give him an opportunity. So we see her sit down with Elijah. Elijah is offering to do a photo shoot for her because, of course, in my opinion, Elijah sees her as a project, or just someone in some ways to pick on, to haze, it's just that kind of stuff that I feel like he's doing. And nobody should have to be going through some type of initiation in order to be in a gospel group or a group full of people who have been um, in the gospel industry for whatever time period they have. So anyway, she sat down and she allowed Elijah to say what he had to say. But Bree also told him, look, don't come, with that mess, because I didn't invite you to do this. You have your opinion about who you think I am and what you think I should change about myself, but I didn't ask you. It was unsolicited advice. And I was proud of Bree because she stood up for herself and she made him have to backpedal. Okay, and pee pop, okay? She made him have to backtrack and really explain his intention and apologize. While I thought that his apology was genuine, I didn't think it went far enough. But I don't know what conversation was cut, by the editors or by production. But for me, it didn't go far enough. He should have gone down the list that she provided to him of offenses. But again, they are doing the word, because the word says if I got an ought against you, right? If I have an ought against you, then I'm supposed to go to you. And if the person doesn't come to you, the Bible also says, but if you think that your brother got one against you, you go to them too. And oftentimes we don't do the word. See, we'll talk the word, we'll talk around the word, we'll manipulate the word to, make it fit our circumstances, but we're not doers. We're hearers only. We can give a good, and I'm talking about myself too. I'm bringing myself into this situation because we are oftentimes hearing the word but not doing the word. It is what it is. And it's the truth. And while we may not want to look at it that way, you know, I have been around church folk most of my life. And I was always the one that was put out there as the bad guy. I wore the bad guy helmet. People believe so many things about me. And half of it, no, not even half of it, 75% of it won't true. While other people did the do good stuff and they were phony and they could pretend and they could do all of that, I couldn't. So I took the heat for other people who were sleeping around, partying, get up, go to church. See, they didn't do this stuff in the open, but they did this stuff nonetheless. They did stuff that I didn't even think that they were doing as Christians. And here it is, I know I'm a wretch undone. And I don't hide my wretch undoneness. And so you get put in a box where you're the bad person. And I watch people now, even at this age, who sit with this like look of judgment about who they think I am, when I am doing good. I have accomplished things that I wasn't supposed to accomplish. And I was talking to my girlfriend about that the other day. I'm not supposed to be who I am. I'm not supposed to have what I have because I'm a wretch undone. See, I come out here and I tell the truth. I cuss a mofo out and all of that kind of stuff. But you know what? God knows my heart. And my relationship to him has nothing to do with what you think about me, because you don't know my heart. You judge me based on what you see on the outside and what you think you know about me, but truly you don't know me. And they haven't known me because everybody else was living that halo life, and I wasn't. I wasn't. And when I look around and I see what God has done in my life, I'm ever so grateful and thankful. Because, see, sometimes the last shall be first. And that's what the word says. So you can judge me, you can look on me, you can check my outfit out, you can say whatever you want to say, but I am doing me. And I have finally found myself free of people's opinions, people's advice, people's handcuffs. I'm free of that. You can come out here, honey, with your fake, phony gospel not having ass, and I will come out here and say and do what I say and I do, and know that I have a genuine heart that God is judging. Because I'm going to say what I got to say and then I'm going to move on. I said something recently. Okay, I'm going off. But I said something recently about a YouTuber. That YouTuber hasn't said my name, but they've been trying to call me all kinds of things. And usually, you should go out and you should defend yourself and all that kind of stuff. But if you think I'm a witch, then a witch I am to you. But I'm not a witch. I've never been. And I never will be. Because, see, the same God that lives in your house, well, I don't know now. Because the stuff you've been doing, I don't know. But I said what I said and I moved on. And this person to me, since you see me that way, I'm going to let you see me that way. And I don't have to defend what's not defendable. I don't have to defend that because I know that's not what I am. So I'm not going to stoop that low to come down and find myself defending someone who won't even say my name. I'm not going to do it. Because when I look at you, I see someone who is lukewarm, someone who's no better than me, and someone who makes up lies. Because in no way did I do what this person is accusing me of doing. I said something, but instead of you listening to what everybody else said, you should listen for yourself and hear what it is I said. I've never prayed for this person's relationship to be destroyed. I said if. And then, you sit back and you watch God. You sit back and you watch God do a thing. And out of that same mouth, they said that they will be devastated, which is what I said. But it just takes time for you to sit back. And I know that there's people over here who come over here and they listen and they ran back and told the person, what it was and woo, 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 woo. And maybe I was wrong for what I said and how I said it. Maybe I was. But to sit and call me a witch, okay. I I ain't even gonna address it. And sure enough, this person came out, did a video recently, and said that if this happened, they would be devastated. That's the only thing that I see it. Because your whole ministry is around that. Everything is about that. Every book you write, everything you do is about that. But as Christian women's, I'm wrong and she's wrong. We're both wrong. Both of us are wrong. Learn from that. If I had an art, I should have went to her. And if she had an art, she should have went to me. Just like Shayna and Tasha. The two of them sat down in a restaurant. Okay? Because Latasha's husband, Latasha Page Lockhart husband, came back to her and told her that Shayna was talking about their marriage, but swore Latasha to secrecy. Now, Shayna indicated that there was a conversation between her and Tasha. For some reason, some odd reason, they were sitting in front of a house. They both remembered where they were and how it was when they did it, right? And so the two of them, Shayna indicated that she's tried to have this conversation and it hasn't worked. Now, as I told you all, the reason why I'm doing this show is because of Shayna. Okay. So anyway, Shayna came with the attitude of, I'm done with this conversation. I'm doing it because Jay Brooks set it up, which is the wrong reason to come. If you can't go to a person and be free of yourself and how you feel about a situation because a third party asks you all to do this, she shouldn't have shown up. Because that means that she wasn't really open to what Tasha had to say. And I must say, I was disappointed because what people do, Christians, and I'm gonna keep it a buck every week. Every week, I'm keeping it a buck. Whether it makes me look good, bad, indifferent, I'm going to tell the truth every week. What we do as Christians is we try our best to pray away instead of doing the work. There's a work that Shayna has to do. You sit down with this sister and it appears that you came in with the wrong heart. So why would we be listening to a prayer? So when Latasha was sitting up there looking at her like, well, she was like, wait a minute, hold on, let me pray. Boo, that ain't going to soften my heart. That's not going to make me not dig up in your ass because we praying. Because you came in the wrong attitude. You in as much sin as I am. See, that's the thing about it. When we're pointing our fingers at somebody else and wanting them to be wrong, look at how many fingers are pointing back at me. So when Shayna called herself praying, girl, ain't no need to pray now. You done said what you said. You done did what you did. Now let's deal with it. When you step outside of the word, don't be trying to use the word to give for a justification and a covering. Because all of us have sinned and fallen short. Just say you fell short, sis. Just say, you know what? Because when Tasha said it came back, yes, Patrice, the truth will set you free. You absolutely right, Clarissa. Neither one of them came with the right spirit. But at least did a prayer and could not. But at least though, Clarissa, Tasha was straight up with hers. While Shayna was dismissive. Because it didn't go right, she was very dismissive about it. See, sin is sin. Sin by submission and sin by omission. When we omit to do what the word says, we're just as much in sin as the other person. And we want to use that word. I'm going to try to tell you now, honey, we'll preach us a good word, but we won't walk that word. See, it's only the word that you've hidden in your heart, not the word that you quote out the good book. When you see somebody going here, let me just go ahead and tell. We're gonna tell the truth. It's the word that's hidden in your heart that causes you not to sin. Not the word that you can get up here and quote out of a Bible while you're reading. See, so Job 3 is no. The word I have hid in my heart that I may not sin against thee. So when I see people preaching sermons from the mount on high, but that word ain't hid in your heart, and you got to go to this passage of scriptures, and you got to take other people, and now all of a sudden you're doing Bible study, you ain't no better than me. I ain't no better than you. Because it's only this word that's in here that's going to cause me not to sin. I'm looking at the two of them, and I'm saying, Shayna, just fuss up and say, I did what I did. I did what I did. I said what I said. It is what it is. But her whole attitude was, I'm pregnant. I ain't got time for this. Can y'all cut this? I don't have time. Then why show up? You knew you was pregnant when you showed up, Shayna. See, Shayna don't disappoint. And I know that Shayna is human. But all of me, my friends, we all watching. We watching to see how she is. Because, see, we see the ministry. We don't know the person. We see the ministry of Shayna Wilson. And so all of us are saying, we got had this grace. We got to sit back and look. And again, I don't want anybody to think that I am going to beat her up. Excuse me, but her attitude, it was all kinds of off. One thing that I did like about Elijah is that even though he did not want to confess that he's a mean guy, and he is mean, the things that he did to her, that he did to Bree at her birthday party were mean. But at least he got to a resolve where he could say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Now, again, I thought it fell short, but he gave it anyway. Tasha was like, look, the reason why I didn't come to you earlier is because my husband asked me not to. So that means that Tasha was offended, but didn't want to really say anything to Shayna about it. And when she did say something to Shayna, she brought a witness with her. She brought Nikki. And that's not the word. You come to me first. Let's have the conversation. If we're not able to resolve it, then we need to bring somebody else in. So they're not doing the word or what the word tells them that they should be doing. Because if the Bible is basic instructions and you don't follow the instructions, just like if you leave milk out of a cake, you're going to have nothing but flour. You're not going to have a cake that's going to rise. You leave the yeast out of it or any of the ingredients. If you don't follow the instructions to a T, you're not going to have a very good cake at all. Matter of fact, you won't have one. And it's the same thing with us. And that's why I say God can bless mess, because when we're looking at this, we can take these things and apply them to our own lives. We can allow things to be a mirror to us. But I don't want to, I done preached enough, okay? One thing about it is I may cuss. And my friends know, honey, I will tell you off. And I'm very fiery. I'm not quick to put my hands on people like I used to be. I think I've gotten really, really delivered from that. But I am a handful if you don't know me. But if you know me, you know my heart. And you know my heart is not to go there, right? But sometimes I'm off. But one thing about it, honey, is I know the word. And I'm not going to hide behind it, and nor am I going to use it as a weapon, because God is love at the beginning of the day. He is love. And when you do something outside of love, including me, that's not God. I don't care how many scriptures. I don't care how many scriptures you come and you flip through, boo. I don't care. I don't care if you do a slideshow on that. It ain't love. And God is not the author of confusion. He's not. So Shayna should have stayed home. She wasted her time in Tasha's, and there was no resolve. Moving right along. Bree ended up, she gave Elijah a chance, and she went to the photo shoot. They put her on this cheap, tawdry ass wig, and she looked a hot mess, but she felt good about herself. She was open for the process, and she allowed him to, take these pictures and stuff. And I think that he was satisfied. You said I cussed too. What you say? You said I cuss and I love Jesus too. Okay. Honey, I know a whole bunch of cussing Christians. I wouldn't spill their tea, but okay. So anyway, the next thing we see is Tasha and Bree. Tasha has come over to Bree's house to offer her olive branch. And she wants to know sincerely how she was doing after she left the party, because she was upset. And she brought over some towels, some hand towels and everything, and had them packaged very nice. And I thought that it was absolutely wonderful. So the two of them begin to talk, and they begin to let down their walls. I'm going to tell you, I was so emotional. I was so emotional, y'all, because they have more in common than what they thought. And when we saw Tasha at on the very first episode, she was dragging Bree. She was a mean girl, in my opinion, because she was around Nikia, right? And when in Rome, you do as the Romans. And in a Christian arena, it takes a lot to go against the grain. You may not want to believe it, but it's the truth. It takes a lot to go against the grain. To say that someone is wrong, it takes a lot. You're going to be ostracized, or you may be ostracized. You may be called, all kinds of things. You may be blackballed. It's the truth. And so a lot of people go with the flow. But here now, with the two women sitting across from each other, they have an opportunity to let down all that stuff and put all of that church to the side. And Tasha began to talk about, her rebellious life and how she was out in them streets and she understood. And it gave Bree an opportunity to say, you know what? Now that you said that, I want to let you know about me. I was because Tasha was talking about when she was rebellious, that she was singing at the strip club. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She was singing at the strip club. Was Tasha better than Bree when Bree revealed that she was a stripper at that same strip club, or one like it? Who was the greatest sinner? See, that's how we do. As Christians, when we're off and we're not doing the words, we're not doers of the words, but only hearers, then we will take and we'll say, oh, well, she wasn't taking her clothes off. Tasha, wasn't taking her clothes off, but Bree was. So Bree down here. No, they right here. Because they both was up in that camp. Whether you was absolutely sin is sin. And yes, y'all, sin is sin. It's sin. There is no measure. There's a couple of ones that, maybe we'll go over on Auntie's Advice channel for women, but sin is sin. And Bree said, I was those strippers. I was walking around there booty naked, straight dancing for a dime. And instantly Tasha defenses came down. Wasn't all the way down, but it came down. And now she began to open up and be able to see Bree with the eyes of God. See, when we are not trying to defend ourselves and we're not trying to be judgy and better than, and I got this and you don't, we allow ourselves to see people the way that God does. We're no longer looking at people and saying, oh, they're a witch. They said something about me, automatically makes them a witch. They're after me. They want to do this. They want to do that. Same thing with me. When I say you ignorant and you stupid, I haven't allowed myself to see you the way God does. We equal here. We here. So whatever I am, you are, because we both sinned and fell short of the glory of God. Same thing with them. They both sinned and fell short of the glory of God. They both did. And Bree was like, I did this because I wanted to help my mama, who was with Fred Hammond, got a divorce and separated, and didn't know where her whole life was going. She knew where she had been. And so Bree said, I stripped to help my mama pay them bills. That's real. That's raw. That was real and raw. And we look at Fred Hammond and no, we don't want to judge Fred Hammond. But bitch, if you think I ain't looking with the side eye, I'm looking with the side eye. But guess what? To whom much is given, much is required. And the same grace that I get up in the morning with, so does he. We are all under the same sun and the same moon. It ain't one special one for me and another one for him. We all under that same grace, that unmerited favor. We're all under that. All of us. And because they're pastor kids, doesn't make their troubles any worse than ours or any better than ours. And when the two of them came here together and saw each other, it disarmed you. Tasha became disarmed because she was able to see through the eyes of God and not through the eyes of Tasha, because she saw herself. So now that Tasha done saw herself, and Bree was like, I did this to help my mama. And Bree said her mama still ain't doing good. And then Bree says, I struggle with same-sex relationships. I thought that I liked girls. And now all Tasha's defenses is down because Tasha says, I struggle with the same thing. From the age of 14 to 18, I struggled with that too. And now they're equal. And now this is where true bonding and healing can happen, because now I don't see you through my lenses, but I now see you through God's lens, because now I see myself. You have become a mirror to me, sis. You and your life and your life experiences are parallel to mine. We're in the same boat, boo. Oh my God, I ain't no better than you and I ain't no worse than you. We the same people. And honey, when they got to praying, I felt that thing. That was a prayer, Shayna. That was a prayer. That was a prayer. And healing takes place where you don't see yourself bigger than me. And I don't see myself bigger than you. But I see myself just like you. Especially as women. We all struggle through the same thing. It may be a little different. Your icing may be chocolate, mine may be strawberry, but at the same time, honey, both of our cakes got icing on it. And if it don't got an icing on it, got some kind of glaze, boo. Somebody gonna slice it and eat it. But what they gonna find in it? So now we see Tasha talking to her mom about her husband. Here Tasha's going on her second marriage. And in her second marriage, she's about to get divorced. She was separated. This is the second time they've been separated. And now she's trying to reconcile with that old husband, Thomas Vernon House. And he's sitting up there, judging. You could tell by the way he came up in that he was judging her. Now, Tasha sat down and had a conversation with her mom and all that kind of stuff and was like, I really don't know whether or not I want to fight. I think I want to fight. I don't want to divorce again, but Mom, I don't know. So she prepares this dinner and everything for her husband because he's still her husband, whether they separated or not. She prepares this romantic night for them. She's hoping that they're going to be able to reconcile for just one night so she can get her some good sex. Okay? That's what she says. She wanted some good sex. And now her husband comes in there. She is a violin player. She says, start when he knocks on the door. He knocks on the door. The guy's playing the violin. She's got dinner and everything prepared. And, she's welcoming her estranged husband in. And he come in and the two of them are talking, small talk and everything. And and we're just sitting there like, wow. And we can see that he, appears to be, and I'm going to say appears to be very pompous. Very pompous. He's above. But there's so much I could say. See, because she sinned. And for him, this was a great sin. Because she gets up after they had their little small talk. He acts like it's a privilege and an honor for him to be there. But so does she. She just wants to be loved by him. And so he comes in and she gets up and she says, I got you a gift. And, I like giving gifts. She said, this first gift that I'm giving you is a key. She said, you're a very private person, very closed off, and I'm hoping that this key symbolizes that I will not betray your trust again. That if you open up this door and you allow me to walk in, I'll never betray you again. The second gift is a shirt. I was drinking and my alcoholism or whatever caused us to have problems in our marriage, and the shirt says, don't drink. And I promise and I vow to you that I will not drink and that I will do better, and whoop de whoop de whoop and the boopy de boop boop boop. So he says, I have a gift for you. He goes in, he pulls the gift up, and he says, this is a gift to you. And this gift is about time. Maybe with time things will heal and all that. No. The second that you repent. See, God's time ain't our time. We think it's this whole, but no. I'm telling you. So he gives her a watch and talks about the time and time to heal and time to this and this and that. Okay, Ecclesiastes. So she feels heard. She walks away. She says, I got something for you. Another gift. He said, okay. She got another gift. I might as well brought an airplane. But see, what he did not realize is that she wouldn't prepared herself for him. She went and got her a wax. Everything she did, she prepared. Her and the kid went to go and get waxed and stuff. She said she had never been waxed. But honey, she wanted to do it because she wanted to, do some things with her husband. So she comes back. She said he always talks about my legs. So she made sure she got them waxed. And he talks about her little tatas. And so she goes out. She comes back in. She's changed her dress. She looked very cute and sexy. She said, I'm a little afraid. I don't know how this going to work out. But I'm going for it. She comes out and he's instantly disgusted. And then Tasha goes on to tell us that her husband, who she's been married to, she would spend thousands of dollars on lingerie. Weird, and he wouldn't even look up. I said, boo, something wrong. Something is wrong. Now, I ain't judging nobody because okay. But honey, when she said that, I was like, something is wrong. That's just my opinion. He was turned off. He said, I wasn't prepared for this. Do you know how many men go to women's houses? Anyway, Auntie. She said, I've done some stuff in our relationship. I am not the type of woman that can go without kisses and hugs and romance and intimacy and sex. She said, I can't do it. But he's turned off and does not want to go any further because he didn't prepare to make love to his wife. He said that he prepared to have a conversation and that was it. So he's holding a grudge. Now, I ain't never been married. I ain't never desired to be married. For me, marriage isn't the prize. One for Paul either. It's not the be all to end all for me. I think that everybody has a ministry and a purpose. So I ain't going to judge their marriage. I'm going to let them judge it and then tell me. And then after that, I can judge it. So she said, let me just say this. Because usually people wouldn't. I apologize for cheating on you. His whole face dropped in his lap. She said, I'm going to spray my own tea. And that's the same thing Bree did. Bree sprayed her own tea. They took their own cup and their own kettle, honey, and poured the tea so you don't have to. She said, boo, yes, I cheated on you and I was wrong. But here I was in a relationship with you and no intimacy, no nothing going on. She said, I believe the best in you. I saw all kinds of nasty in you and I chose to love you anyway. But the first time some went down that I did, you broke down, busted and disgusted and ran out because you couldn't be trusted. And now here it is. We sitting in each other's face to face. And I'm saying I apologize for cheating on you. And guess what? It does not justify what I did. But what I ain't gonna never let nobody do is think they got nothing over me. I said, bitch, you better. I said, Tasha, you better spray your own tea. Let me tell you something. I am absolutely positive that set her free. because he who is free and he who the Son has set free is free indeed. He was ready for the cameras to cut. She said, "You can unmic us." You can unmic us. I have respect for her for doing that. Spray your own tea. And that's what she did. She was like, "I cheated on you and I was wrong." She said, "I cheated on you and I was wrong. But what you ain't going to do is hang it over my head." Honey, honey, nothing but respect. Nothing but respect. I think that this thing is going to open up and free a lot of people if they can get past what it is they see. If you can allow yourself just for a second, just for a moment, to get past all the other stuff and really get down to where that thing can minister to you from your own heart and from your own place and space. We can't use the word to manipulate because I'm sure that he feels like he did not play a part. Now, no, I don't want to say I'm sure. I assume that he feels like he did not play a part in the demise of his relationship. I'm, he had nothing to do with this. This was her. But for everything you contribute to it, right? We contribute to most of the things that happen in our lives. You know, people say things happen for a reason and a season. Okay, I give you that. But some of the stuff we bring on ourselves. One of the hardest things is to say I was wrong. I was wrong. I should not have done what I did but when we spray our own tea, there's freedom in that. When Bree got out there and said I was a stripper on national syndicated TV, she freed herself. And nobody else can use it as a weapon against her. Not nary nobody. When Tasha Page Lockhart came out and said, "I cheated on you," can nobody use it to manipulate her no more. The ransom has been paid. The ransom has been paid. It's been paid. Honey, I felt that thing. I felt that thing. I give this episode a whole A. It was good. So y'all going up for Tasha. What does that mean? Going up for Tasha. Why is it that we got be going up or going down? I don't know what you mean by that, Latrell. What does that mean? That because she had a victory in one area that we what? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, I don't know about all of that. I'm doing a review. You can have a victory today and fall on your ass tomorrow. I'm just talking about and reviewing what happened on the show and how I felt, my response to it deep down up in my soul. Don't mean that I'm rooting for her or going, that's not what that means. So maybe somebody said something in the comment that she ain't even talking to me. So you know what, I apologize, Latrell, because you may be just responding to somebody else. But because somebody get a good day with Auntie, don't mean they gonna always get one. Because I'm gonna tell the truth from my perspective and how I feel, just like you all. I love you too, boo. I love you too. So I'm not going up for any of these people. I'm doing a review and I'm using these things to hopefully help somebody. And as I was saying about Carlos King, um, I think that what what the devil meant for bad, God's going to turn this around and use this for good. I believe that someone is going to have their life changed and someone's going to see themselves. I thought that this week's episode was talking about things that are a little bit taboo and controversial, especially in the Christian community. Again, I don't talk about any other ministries or religions because I don't know about them. And so I'm not going to be, making this anything universal. These people are, here we are, Christians. And so that's the only perspective that I can talk about. Um, Actually research him and see what you think. I definitely gained a little bit more respect for her this episode. I did too. We are not perfect, but asking for forgiveness is all he asks. Auntie, you need to watch Carlos recap to hear the rest of Tasha's story. It had me in tears. Wow. We all got a story, don't we? We all got a story. Anyway, y'all, I thought that this was an A. Thank you, Carlos, for letting us in. Letting us in. It's just almost like the same thing that's going on with Latasha and her sister on SWV and Escape, and girlfriend's coming out and trying to do a gospel album, and all her tea is being spilled out on the street. All her stuff being spilled out on the street. All her tea. Her husbands, everybody. And the reason why is because the public has deemed her the bad girl. Her the public has deemed her the mean girl. The public has deemed her the liar. The public has deemed her as a fake and a phony under the umbrella of religion. I'm doing a gospel album. Y'all gonna have to watch, people. You gotta watch, people. A tree at the end of the day, y'all, is known by the fruit that it bears. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down to the comment section. And until the next time we see each other, y'all stay safe. Bye, y'all.